Detroit-born marine life artist Wyland started painting when he was 3. His early fascination with marine life and affinity for great whales and their spirit have led him on a playful, inspiring artistic journey. He paints life-size orcas in public places all over the world. As Shakespeare said, one touch of nature makes the whole world kin. Wyland is back in Vancouver to tweak the mural he created here in 1994, and it is my pleasure to welcome Wyland to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Nice to see you, Fanny.
Nice to meet you.
Good to be back in Vancouver. I agree with Tom, one of the greatest cities on the planet. And I've been to a lot of countries, a lot of cities, but there's nothing like Vancouver.
How did you escape from Detroit?
Well, I left when I was 19. I went to art school at the Center for Creative Studies, and I told them I'm going to cram 6 years of painting and sculpture classes into 2, and then I'm going west, young man. I'm going to California, you know, where kind of my environmental art, you know, was more, you know, supported. And, you know, I guess I was an artist in the right place at the right time. You know, when the environmental movement started with Greenpeace here in Vancouver, Earth Day in 1970, you know, I was just a young artist, but I heard the message, and it really resonated for me. And also Jacques Cousteau was my hero.
Well, there you go, because you could have been painting Studebakers and Fords.
I know.
Instead,
as Carlos Mencia said, the comedian, we did a comedy club event with John Lovitz. He said, you know, I could have been painting dogs, but I painted whales with purple fins, you know. So, but really, you know, I've been drawn to the ocean since I was, you know, really young. And Cousteau inspired kind of a passion for conservation and protecting the ocean and the animals. And that stays with you when you're a kid, you know. And I'm a pure artist first, but I'm a naturalist. Also, Robert Bateman has been my hero from the beginning. And when we met many years ago, you know, he agreed to write the introduction to my first book, The Art of Wyland. And, you know, he didn't have to.
No.
And I admire him. I think he's an icon worldwide, not only in Canada, but he's a national treasure worldwide for wildlife.
No question. He's one of our favorites. In
Yes.
fact, he sang me his Christmas song on the show.
Really?
One Christmas. Has he sung that song for you?
No, but I don't
Ask him.
sing, but I started Wyland Records, and we did a jazz CD, so we're going to have to compete again, me and Bateman. You know, we have this standing agreement when Robert dedicated the mural I did in Victoria, and that was the first one that depicted an actual pod of whales that are local, the A5 pod. And I had Mike Bigg and Graham Ellis and John Ford, so I had these great scientists, and they would always say to me, you know, you artists, we don't like you artists because you never get it right. I said, well, come up on the scaffolding and help. So Mike Bigg got a piece of chalk, and he actually went up on the scaffolding and drew the little nick in the dominant male, you know, in the dorsal fin. And that's where art and science came together. And Robert Bateman flew in and dedicated a wall. Well, he flew in, he walked up, and he sees a bald eagle that I had painted. He goes, hey, Wyland. He goes, I thought we had an agreement. You were supposed to do below the water, and I do above. He goes, what, are you taking over or what?
Why not?
And it's really funny, but so this is kind of a dream that Robert Bateman and I are working together. He asked me to kind of support his effort to bring Get to Know to America. So I went to the Los Angeles Zoo and helped them launch that last year. And I think it's going to be superbly successful, and more importantly, so important to engage kids, you know, through the arts, to get them out in nature. And, you know, once they have a passion for it in their heart, you know, they'll carry it with them
Well, you know
forever.
about that, and you say you play every day. You have a job, obviously, but not a real job. You just play and paint and
it's a lifestyle.
get your shoes all messy.
Yeah, artists. Oh, you noticed my shoes, huh? Well, artists, you know, we really don't have a job, and we don't want one, by the way. So keep collecting, keep buying our art, because we really don't want to have to get a real job. But what this has allowed me to do is, you know, the success of my art has allowed me to do these 100 walls. I finished the last one in Beijing for the Green Olympics, the Cultural Olympics.
So you have 100?
I have 100. I'm done. But
I thought that was the goal for 2011.
No, you know what? I finished 3 years and 5 minutes ahead of schedule. I did the last one in Beijing. I wanted the last one to be about kids, so I invited kids from all the Olympic countries of the world, including Canada, to paint with me, from 204 countries, to paint the water regions, freshwater and saltwater, of the world. And it's nearly a mile long of 40-foot canvases. So we painted that as a pre-Olympic event for the Cultural Olympics. And then all the art went along this lake, Chayong Park, and reflected the art that the kids and I painted together. It was beautiful.
As you know, Wyland, and as Bateman says often, if people see the beauty in nature, if kids see the beauty in nature, they will work to preserve it. as you have, and the Greenpeacers, and
Yes.
some of us. You were a U.S. Olympic team artist.
Yes, I'm the official artist for the U.S. Olympic
And you
team in
painted a
Beijing
bear.
and here for the Winter Olympics. I did. Can you guys see this? I don't know who wants to.
Yeah, sure. We'll
Yeah,
bring
Fanny,
the camera in.
this is some of my Olympic art that I did.
Does Bateman know you painted a bear? I thought
And
you were
a bald eagle.
And a
He's going to
bald
be mad.
eagle.
No. These are some of the animals that I painted in support of the U.S. Olympic team. They get no funding from the government. We need to change that. But in the meantime, you know, they select
Like
artists
no funding
like.
at all?
No, not at all. And, you know, when I was a kid, Leroy Neiman, remember him with the
Of
cool
course.
mustache? Well, Leroy Neiman was the Olympic artist, and I was just a young artist, and I said, wow, that guy's cool, that mustache, and he's the Olympic artist. I want to be the Olympic artist. So I'll tell you what, follow your dreams. And, you know, they asked me to be the artist, and I went to Beijing.
Well,
It was
didn't
amazing.
Neiman work for Hugh Hefner at some point?
Oh, yeah, he
Were
worked
you
for
reading
Playboy.
as a young lad?
It's possible. It's possible. Actually, Hef's a good friend of mine. I get invited to all the parties at the mansion.
Oh, perfect. Well,
You
his
know?
ex-wife's a good friend of mine.
See, there you go.
Kim,
She's
see?
beautiful. I know her. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
Well,
And she's
you know.
a great spirit. Well, she's from here.
No way.
Yeah, her name used to be Kimberly Conrad.
Really? Right.
And then she went to Hollywood.
Pamela
and-
Anderson's from here.
Yes.
They got some beautiful women
We
here. Maybe
grow-
I should think about painting women now that I'm done painting.
I think so.
You know, great
We
whales.
grow beautiful things.
You
not,
do.
Not just trees.
True.
You know. Okay, take me back to the time. You're 3. You're painting. Were you really painting on the bedboard?
Yeah, I didn't want to get
wall?
caught. I didn't want to get caught painting on the walls. So what I did is I went under the kitchen sink and I took all those awful colors that your parents painted the bathroom and the kitchens, you know, the beiges. And what I would do is I'd push them under the bed, and I would kind of scoot under there, and I would paint on the back headboard of my parents' bed. And I would paint dinosaurs and Jurassic scenes. So yeah, 3, 4 years old, and nobody knew I was painting murals until we moved. You know, they'd break the bed down and go, oh yeah, Wyland's painting again. But that's really how I started. Now, I've been painting ever since I was 3, 4, and nobody told me to stop, so I just kept going.
And
here we are.
Did your mom let you turn your bedroom into a studio or something?
Yeah, right. You read that, yeah. Well, what happened was my mom told me I had to get a job when I was 16, so she took me to the unemployment bureau, and, you know, I got fired the first day, fired the second day, you know, because they wanted me to work in a factory. I said, look, I'm an artist. I can't be working. I want to be like Robert Bateman, you know? And so finally, the third day they fired me, and they said, this will be on your permanent record. You will be unemployable. You are a loser. And so I just went, oh, my God. You know, I saw a light, and I said to my mom, I said, do you mind if I use the basement, make it like a studio, live-work studio? And I want to get a great portfolio and go to my favorite, you know, art school in the nation, which I got a full scholarship. And the rest is history.
How fabulous. But you were a classic starving artist at some point.
I was a pure artist from the time I was a little kid. And, you know, when I was in first grade, I had a teacher kind of mentor me. And I was drawing in the back of the class, not paying attention. And she told me to stay after class. And I thought I was in trouble. And it turns out she was a bit of an artist. And she said, hey, Wyland, you could be a great artist. And that really inspired me. So now, you know, whenever I'm doing a wailing wall project, you know, in the last 30 years, I've painted with over 1 million kids. And, you know, I come off the wall and I'll paint with them, mentor them. Wherever I am, I do a small wall for kids. And we're counting them now, 1.1 million, 1.2 million. And now the opportunity to reach more kids with Robert Bateman's Get to Know. It's inspiring to me, the work and message that he's always brought. Now I can help him achieve bigger goals in America.
Why whales? I know you say, yes, you paint the whale.